On today's live daily news, the Cover1 crew is back to get you ready for all of tonight's football games. It's 2 weeks away from the state championships, and we still have teams in the hunt. Plus, news headlines of the day include what the San Angelo police were up to last night, a shooting in Robert Lee, and San Angelo's favorite cowboy is again in the big show. All this plus more. I'm Yantis Green, and this is Live. But first, financial advisor with Edward Jones, Davis Woodfin, congratulates all of tonight's stars on the football field. You can contact him with your questions about this crazy economy we're living in right now, and he may have the answers to many of your questions. Davis is making sense out of investing at Edward Jones. He's located at 4102 South Jackson Street or 325-249-0082. That's Davis Woodfin at Edward Jones, 325-249-0082. The San Angelo Police Department on Thursday night recovered a kidnapped toddler from Michigan. The PD confirmed that they were tipped off from a Michigan sheriff's office that 36-year-old Laquita Cavan had kidnapped a 4-year-old child during a supervised visit and fled the state to San Angelo. Police found Cavan hiding out at the El Patio Motel in the 1900 block of West Beauregard. Police arrested Cavan and CPS took the child. For more, check out the story only on sanangelolive.com. As the show was going on yesterday, our neighbors to the north over in Coke County were dealing with some drama. According to the Coke County Sheriff's Office yesterday, deputies were called out to Lake Spence outside Robert Lee for the report of a shooting. A witness in the shooting told deputies that a man, later identified as Robert Wooten, had fired 2 shots in the air with a shotgun after threatening him and another man. Deputies later arrested Wooten for deadly conduct by discharging a firearm. The sheriff's office there confirmed with us that they did not find the gun. They didn't find the weapon, but they did find wadding from the shot shell at the scene. They believe he threw the gun into the lake, and they'll attempt to recover it from the water later. And in rodeo news, tie-down roping champion and San Angelo native Ty Harris is on his way to compete at the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas for the 4th time. So far in 2022, Harris has won 8 roping championships competitions across the United States and Canada, and now has a chance to walk away from Vegas a national finals champion. Harris was homeschooled in San Angelo and then attended Cisco Junior College, then moved on to Texas A&M Commerce. He turned pro in 2018 and was the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association Rookie of the Year. Go to sanangelolive.com to watch exclusive video of Ty Harris at the 2022 San Angelo Rodeo. Turning to weather for the weekend, expect mild conditions with highs on Saturday in the 50s and in the 70s, mid-60s rather, on Sunday. There is no chance of rain in the forecast until early next week, middle of next week, with the main chance coming Wednesday and Thursday. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. So make sure to go do something outside, like attend the Angelo State University playoff game, or go downtown in San Angelo for the Christmas Lights Parade, or go catch some games at the Doug McCutcheon Memorial Basketball Tournament over there at Central High School and Lakeview High School. And now it's time to get into some Texas high school football playoffs. It's week 4 of the Texas high school football playoff rounds. Who will go home? Who will live to fight another day? Find out. But first, here's a quick message from Tiemann Investments.
I've always known that I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to help students maximize their potential. It's something that I'm good at. But planning for my financial freedom, that's something I leave for a professional.
That's why I chose to team up with the advisors at Tiemann Investments.
They not only understand me and my goals, but they understand the market, what's important now and in the future. They provided world-class advice, right where I am, here in West Texas.
Connect with Tiemann Investments to visualize your financial dreams.
Welcome, everybody. It is round 4 of the Texas High School Football Playoffs. This is the Cover 1 pregame show where we're going to let you know everything you need to know about some games that are going on around the region. And, of course, the Concho Valley teams are still in it. So, without further ado, I'm Matt Tremble, and I'll bring in my co-host for now. James Bellini will be here later in the show. But right now, it's just me and Chadwick. Chadwick, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good, Matt. Ready for some football today.
Yeah, I know you're going to have that long trip out to Lubbock. Luckily, you used to play for Texas Tech, so you know a little bit about the hub city down there.
Oh, yeah. Lived there for about a decade. Went to school there. Graduated from there. Love the Red Raiders.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get this thing started. We are going to be in Lubbock, and it's the Wall Hawks taking on the Canadian Wildcats. Canadians a known legacy team. It's going to be a good one at Lubbock Cooper Stadium. Chadwick, what kind of your thoughts going into this game?
I think this is a really tough matchup for the Wall Hawks, specifically because they haven't run into too many teams that run the spread against them. So it's going to be interesting. I was at practice a bunch this week, talking to the different coaches, talking to Coach Guy, talking to the players, and just seeing them practice against the spread. Like it was interesting. So Canadians a great team. They've been running over people so far in the playoffs. They match up well against the Wall Hawks defensively. The Hawks are going to have their work cut out for them running the ball and whatnot, but like I think that like they definitely still have a chance, and I personally think they can pull it off with how good their defense is.
Yeah, speaking of good defenses, we talk about let's recap a little bit from last week. Canadian played Spearman 68-0. Didn't give up a point. On the other side though, Wall played Idalou. That's right. Wall plays Idalou. Doesn't give up a point either. That scores 30-0. Who do you think is going to give up the first points of this game? Do we think it's going to be high scoring? I know we saw Canadian put up 68, but at the same time, Wall didn't give up any points last week. Neither did Canadian. Who do you think is going to get on the board first in this one?
Well, first of all, Matt, I think it's important to note nothing against Spearman, but they are definitely a team that they were the lowest seed in their district. I definitely think that's a team that was lucky to get that far. And on the other side of it, Idalou is completely different. They were either a 1 seed or a 2 seed. I'm pretty sure they won their district, and so the quality of opponent, like at that point for Wall, was much more difficult than what Canadian had. But it really just comes down to like who can stop the other, right? So I can't say who's going to score first or not. Like I can definitely see Canadian getting some chunk plays early while Wall settles in, but hey, I could be wrong. Wall might be chomping at the bit when they come out there and just blow them up. So like you never know.
Well, we've seen in the last few years with the Wall Hawks, Chadwick, has been we go to the playoffs, we get about 2 or 3 rounds deep, we have to play that spread offense, whether it be Pilot Point, whether it be Brock, whether it be, I mean, of course, you know, they had Jim Ned last year, but other than them, you know, it's like the spread offense has killed the Wall Hawks. Wall gets down, they aren't able to run that high efficient offense to get them back in the game. Are you thinking that that's going to be some of the problems that they're going to face tonight, or do you think that this team is a little bit different than those other teams in the past, and they have what it takes to kind of get over that hill of the spread offense?
Well, first of all, you're describing what the spread offense is, and that's what it's meant to do. You're supposed to score a lot, and you're supposed to score quickly. Whenever a team runs the spread, like they're trying to get as many plays in as possible to run up the score to the point where the other team has to match their tempo, otherwise they're going to fall too far behind. Now, if Wall is going to avoid some of their problems of the past, that they have to do a great job at controlling time of possession, right? If you're taking 5 to 6 minutes to score on each drive, or even if you have to punt, if you're taking significant time off the clock, then those spread offenses won't have they won't have enough momentum to build off of to just keep running up the score, and B, they just won't have enough time, right?
Absolutely. I think that's kind of a good point there. It's going to be very interesting to see. I know a lot of people are excited, so we'll have highlights on our 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock show. Chadwick, you went and spoke with Coach Guy before the matchup this week. Before we listen to it, what was kind of the thoughts that were going to your head, and then go ahead and pitch to that interview?
Coach Guy was just really complimentary of his team because, of course, I asked him about the game last week, and like with the weather as awful as it was raining, it was cold, it was a sloppy game, but like you can expect that. Like it got to the point where it was about 35 degrees and pouring rain that like there was a lot of turnovers, right? It's hard to hang on to that ball, but he was real proud of the way that his guys played and said looking forward to the to Canadian. I did ask him, like, how does this compare to teams like Pilot Point, like Brock, like Jim Ned, And he actually did mention to me, this actually wasn't in the interview, this was a little bit on the side, but he did mention to me that it's a little bit different now that they've stepped down out of the big school 3As and now they're in the small school 3As. So I don't think that he's particularly afraid of Canadian. Of course he wouldn't be. They're in the fourth round of the playoffs. But like I think his team's ready. And he seemed confident. His boys seemed confident. So, yeah, like let's check out this interview with Coach Guy.
All right, I'm here with head coach Houston Guy of the Wall Hawks, playing a pretty decent matchup this week against Canadian. Coach, just talk about your team a little bit last week.
We were kind of concerned with the weather. The weather came out, turned out to be really nice. As we were driving up there, it was raining like crazy. Once we got there, it was still raining like crazy. But as the game progressed, the weather kind of cleared up a little bit. It got a little more sunshine to come out and almost where you could take your jacket off. And I thought our kids, from the very beginning, they came out, played lights out. Defensively, we got after them pretty good from the very beginning to the very end. Offensively, we came out and moved the ball well. We didn't score our first drive. We scored our second drive, and just added to it as the half, right before the half. And I thought our kids are playing really well right now. I think we're peaking at the right time, and I think we're playing good.
Okay, Coach, moving into the next round, y'all got a pretty tough team from the Panhandle coming down.
Yeah.
What do you expect out of them?
They're going to be, well coached. They're going to be very disciplined. They're going to be very athletic. It's one of those teams. Canadians been kind of the team to beat in this region for the last 10 to 12 years, and maybe longer than that. It's one of those things you always hear about them. We've never had the opportunity to play them before, so we really are just relying on the film that we got from the coaches. So all we know right now is they're going to play fast. They're going to be very athletic. They're going to be very good, and they're going to put pressure on you to get lined up defensively to make sure you cover all the receivers and the adjustments that they're trying to make. They'll try to fool you. They'll run a lot of reverses. Defensively, they're going to play very aggressive. They're not real multiple. They're going to play their defense, and they're not moving. They're really confident in what they do. They're confident in how they play, and they play fast and aggressive. And so, we got our work cut out. This is a very good ball club that we're fixing to play on Friday.
All right, Coach, well, let's talk about y'all's defense for a minute.
Okay.
Finally got under that 7 points allowed per game. I think it's at like 6.7 points allowed. That's it's probably one of the best in the state, especially at this point.
I would take them against anybody right now. I think these guys are playing super fast. They're real confident in what they do. They're very well coached with those guys that are on that side of the ball. Those Coach Slaughter, Coach White, and Coach Warren. Those guys do a great job coaching our kids, and our kids play fast too. Our kids play very aggressive. You better have your offensive line schooled on picking up blitzes and picking up different fronts because they're very multiple. They do a great job of playing sound football, but yet playing very fast football.
Coach, what do you think it's going to take for y'all to take home that W to move on into the semifinals?
We're going to have to keep their offense off the field. We need to put drives together where we're making first downs and eventually, put that ball in the end zone. We need to score some points. Defensively, we just got to keep everything in front of us. Don't get fooled by a formation. Keep a man on their best receivers and keep their quarterback in check. Their quarterback is probably the best quarterback we've played all year long. Reminds me a lot of the Cisco quarterback, but throws the ball a lot better. And has better weapons around him. And so we got to work cut out both sides of the ball.
Okay, Coach, last question here. That drive to Lubbock is a little bit longer than maybe what y'all are used to. Do you have something planned for, like a specific game plan for the travel day? Are y'all going to take a break of practice anywhere, or are you just going to make the trip?
No, we're just going to make the trip and go. Our kids they're used to making long trips, whether it be out west for district ball games or long playoff games or, games that we've been in the bus for about 3 hours. They're used to that. It's pretty common for these kids.
Well, thank you, Coach Guy.
Hey, thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you, sir.
That was head coach Houston Guy. He is the longtime coach of the Wall Hawks. He's been here many, many times, so he knows what to do. Speaking of guys who know what to do, Call this man Davis Woodfin at Edward Jones. He's making sense of investing. He's a member of the SIPC. And right now, 4.7% APR brokerage CD rates as of November 25th. $1,000 minimum investment for 12 months. Give him a call today, 325-249-0082. That's Davis Woodfin at Edward Jones, and he's making sense of investing. All right, Chadwick, let's move on to our next game. We're going to move around a little bit. We're going to save our other Concho Valley team for the back half of the show. But for right now, we're going to be heading out to Sweetwater. One of these two teams played in San Angelo a couple weeks ago, and it was a blowout over there at San Angelo Stadium, and it was Glen Rose. But this time, they're going to be taking on the Lobos. Glen Rose Tigers, Monahan's Lobos. Chadwick, it is going to be a good game. What are your kind of thoughts as you looked at this on paper?
On paper, Glen Rose looks pretty dominant. I'm not going to lie, especially after that game in San Angelo Stadium that we got to watch them play against Fort Stockton. With that being said, Fort Stockton and Monahans are in the same district. Monahans won that district, and pretty handily too. They went 5-0. Monahans has been stomping their way through the playoffs thus far as well. But again, Glen Rose is a powerhouse. I expect them to be holding that state trophy at the end of the day. So either that or at least be in Jerry World at that state game. So Monahans has their work cut out for them today. But Glen Rose is the Goliath in this matchup.
Absolutely. So, I kind of got some personal ties to this. Glen Rose beat Fort Stockton. Fort Stockton is offense coordinator, Coach Norman. He is my old offensive coordinator. On the other side, now they go play Monahans. Monahans defensive coordinator was my old defensive coordinator, Coach Coker. So, looks like they're trying to whoop up on those boys that used to go to Level End. They got past Fort Stockton, who looked really dangerous all year long, explosive offense. But now they got to go against Monahans. This is another West Texas team. I don't think it's impossible. I think that what Monahans does well is play really sound defense. And on the other side, Glen Rose's offense is insane. So I think it's really going to be kind of almost what you're going to see with Wall and Canadian. A really, really good defense taking on a really, really good offense. And maybe something happens. Maybe something crazy happens. I don't know. Our stringer is from Glen Rose, Jake Rollin, and he will be at the game. And he will be giving us live video, so make sure you check that out. Anything else we got to say about this game would be maybe is drive going to be affect anything, or I don't know. What Chadwick? I'm not. Of course, you were with the Bobcats when they were not very good. But when you're in the fourth round of the playoffs,
chill, bro.
What's kind of your mindset when you're going like the fourth round of the playoffs is right before state. Now you're playing not just like these are good teams. You're playing the best teams.
I think it's important to note that Glen Rose is in danger of maybe a trap game too. So yes, they're the heavy favorites even against a team as good as Monahans. But like you said, Matt, like they're 2 games away from state. Like they could already be looking at Jerry World. Oh, hey, like what hotel are we staying at? Oh, what are we gonna do? Like when you get teams that are like start thinking like that, we've seen even NFL teams fall. Like they look too far ahead, and the 0-16, like would be Lions almost beat you.
Right.
So. Yeah. I do think Glen Rose is the favorite in this one. Monahans is going to have to play a perfect game, kind of like how we were saying with Sonora and Hawley last week. But I will say Monahans' offense is also not bad at all. Like they outscore their opponents. They're really good at scoring quickly and scoring a lot of touchdowns. So like their defense is going to have to create a couple extra opportunities, I think, for their offense to score. But overall, I say Glen Rose is the favorite in this, but it's the fourth round of the playoffs. Monahans is also really good.
Give me a score.
I'm going to say Glen Rose 52, Monahans 38.
All right, I'll go Monahans 42, Glen Rose 40.
Oh, going with the upset there.
Upset. I think it's going to be a pretty crazy game there, and we're going to have all the highlights right here on Cover One's show at 8 and 10 o'clock. Guys, before we go, well, I guess not before we go, but Angelo State and Industrial, before Chadwick goes, Angelo Bolton Industrial Supply is your number one place for industrial supplies in San Angelo since 1994. You need any kind of things like nuts, bolts, hand tools, power tools, shop supplies, any kind of hardware you need, Angelo Bolton Industrial Supply is your place to go. Go see them today, Angelo Bolton Industrial Supply. All right, Chadwick. You're about to head out because you got to go to Lubbock. So I'll give you, this is your chance right here. Final thoughts for this pregame show.
Wallhawks need to play a clean game tonight. Their defense needs to get 3 or 4 stops. I feel like for their offense to be able to control the game, y'all have the capability. Just play the game plan that the coaches put in for you and play some heads up smart football. Irion County, congratulations on making it to the semifinals. Go get yourselves a win tonight, Hornets.
All right, that's right. There's 2 Concho Valley teams. We'll talk about Irion County here in a little bit. Chadwick, thanks for coming on the show. We will get some stuff from you, and we will see you when we see you.
All right, thanks, Matt.
All right. And now moving on, we want to talk about Double Dave's Pizza. That's right. Go to Double Dave's this month, and you can have the Naughty Dave. It's a crispy, thin crust with buffalo ranch sauce, mozzarella, pepperoni, sausage, and jalapenos. What a good treat there at Double Dave's to end the year. The Naughty Dave. Go get it today in the Southwest Plaza over there on Knickerbocker and Sunset, or give them a call. Order them online. However you want to order your pizza, make sure you order it from Double Dave's. All right, guys, we're going to bring in the next guest to the show. I guess not guest to the show, but we had Ryan Chadwick on to talk about the first half, but now James Bellini is here, and he's ready to go. James, what's up, man?
Not much. I'm ready. We are a couple weeks away from state. It's here. It is like just yesterday we started the show up, man.
I know. The time has flown. We have 2 big games to talk to with you today. We're going to be starting with our Homer game that is happening in early, and it is a semi-playoff game, and it is between the Irion County Hornets and the Abbott Panthers. Sorry, yeah, I'm terrible at this mascot thing today. Irion County and the Abbott Panthers down in early Texas. A little 6-man action. Winner goes to the state championship. James, when you're looking at this, what are you thinking?
I think it's going to be a really good one. I think Irion County went out last week and didn't play their best football. Their star running back kind of got into it a little bit at the beginning, and he got booted from the game. So if they can keep this close, if they can keep it close till halftime till he can come back, I think they're going to run away with this one. I think Irion County is just a really, really good football team. I think they've been tested a lot more than Abbott. But Abbott's a good football team too. Don't take anything away from them. They are here. They are 1 game away from state again, just like last year. So yeah, this is going to be a really good one. I'm excited for it.
I'm really high on this Irion County Hornet team. I mean, they are what you want to see from a really good 6-man team. They play good defense. They get turnovers, that's we've seen a lot.
Bro, they're
this year.
violent too, man.
Yeah,
they're
I know.
Hitting, like that's
you were seeing some of those tackles they were making last week. They're flying.
I mean, and I did not agree with this call. The kid grabbed him and he slung him to the ground. It was a violent look, but he's a runner. The guy's a runner, and they called a face mask on it or something. I thought that was the worst call I've ever seen.
Yeah, and gets kicked out of the game for it.
Yeah, again, and I mean, refs don't care what I have to say because we are who we are, so they don't care what we have to say. But yeah, I didn't agree with that. But there were flags all over the place. It wasn't the best game at all. I mean, it was just. I bet both coaching staffs were kind of like, what's going on? Like they were just calling everything that. And they weren't letting anything slide or weren't letting them really play at all. And like the third quarter, there wasn't a lot of flags. The third quarter flew by, but the fourth quarter came around, and I swear that quarter ended probably took half hour, 45 minutes just to get through the one quarter. I mean, it was ridiculous.
That's crazy. But when we're talking about Abbott, James, what's been their road to get here? Who are some of the teams that they've beaten? I'm sure. They've played some pretty good teams. I mean, this is 1 game before the state championship.
Yeah, they have played some good teams. I mean, they've played. They're undefeated. They've played a decent schedule. They've only allowed like 80 points all year or something like that. It's something ridiculous. They've shut out. Let me count real quick. It's a high number. 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5, 6, 7 opponents. I think they've shut out. in the playoffs, they've only allowed 44 points in the playoffs so far. They're a good football team. They're.
Are we thinking something rare for the six men? Are we thinking we're going to be seeing a defensive game in this one?
Man, I think so. I wouldn't want to play defense against the Irion County kids. Man, they are hungry. They are good. The Trevin Koffel kid can play. Fred Mayberry can play. Fred Mayberry can play. Bo Morrow can play. Loudermick can play. They can all. I mean, they're all
balling
really
out
good.
there.
Yeah, they are. If they get to state and they play Happy or Westbrook, they get to state. That's going to probably be one of the better state games we'll see this year.
So James, you went out to Irion County, I think 2-3 days ago. You talked to the coach and you kind of got the feel of practice. What's it feeling like down there? And go ahead and pitch that interview.
Man, it was great. Practice was very light. At this point in the season, like you said before, Matt, they're not really getting better in practice. They're just kind of sharpening up, certain aspects of their game, and they're just getting ready for their opponent. Watching a ton of film and everything. And Coach Koffel was more than happy to sit there and talk. They were more than happy to have me out there. He came over, shook my hand in practice, and we stayed after practice and talked for about 10 minutes. So here's a little bit of that interview, just me and him just talking.
All right, here we are, Irion County head coach Don Koffel. First off, how's it feel practicing this late in the season, sir?
Amazing. It's man, it's what every football program dreams of, playing in December.
And this week or last week, I guess you had Jonesboro in early. Kind of tell me how kind of a last-second kick that went, wide left. How's it feel to get a win over those guys and move on to the next week?
Oh, it's huge. I have a big history with Jonesboro because I used to coach back in Irion in Central Texas, and we played Jonesboro all the time. So to have an opportunity to play, them again, and such a big program. Eddie Gallegos he's won a lot of games over there and won a lot of playoff games. Been deep, been to the state championship. And get a chance to play a quality team like that in the third round Thanksgiving week, and to come out on top, that's pretty awesome.
Now this week, y'all have, speaking of going deep in the playoffs, Abbott went deep last year. Y'all got Abbott this week. How do they look on film? How do y'all plan on attacking them?
Fast and fundamental. They are fast and fundamental, and another great coaching staff. Terry Crawford, head coach over there, his son Kyle, and the rest of the crew. They're phenomenal, and they play fast, and man, they are very fundamental, and man, they're tough. Defense flies around, and they'll come get you. So we're putting in the best game plan we can, and we're ready for the challenge.
Now, not to get too far ahead, because obviously, state's still a few weeks away, and Abbott's still in the way for you guys. But how does it feel? Just y'all are one of two teams practicing in the Concho Valley still. Now, how does that feel to be one of those guys who are just who have a shot?
And it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing to realize that you're one game away from actually playing for the state championship. It's obviously a very tall mountain to climb in Abbott, but you don't get here without being better than good, being great.
Right.
And that goes for Abbott, ourselves, Westbrook, Happy, the four teams that are left in Division I. I mean, all four teams are pretty darn phenomenal, I would think, and it's going to be a battle for everybody.
Take anything away. I don't want to take anything away from anybody else. At this point, everybody is good. They all deserve to be at this point. And y'all certainly do too. Anything that I missed? Anything you want to say to maybe your fans or anybody?
Oh man, I'm so proud of our fans and our community, and just the backing that they've given us from top to bottom, and on game days, game nights. My goodness, our crowd is off the chains. They are just literally carrying us, and it's pretty darn exciting. Our Mighty Hornet band, Mr. Tillman. I just can't say enough about all of our fans, and heck, big thanks to the coaching staff that comes out here with me. Man, these guys are phenomenal, and it's just this community, the school, the admin, everything about Irion County. It's a blessing.
All right, James, that was a pretty good interview there. You got a lot of stuff from it, but I'm going to ask you the ultimate question. Give me your picks and what's your score?
Oh, Irion County, hands down. I'm picking Irion County in this game, and in the other game, I'm picking Westbrook. I'm going to say Irion County of 36 to 32. I say it's going to be another tight one. And Westbrook, I think Westbrook's going to win. I guess I'll say 44-42, something like that.
And then in 2 weeks, I guess we're going to be seeing Westbrook and Irion County in the state championship if it goes.
Oh, yeah.
James wants to.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of in the same agreeal with you. I think that Irion County is going to win this game, but I think we're going to be seeing a little more points than that. I think we're going to be seeing it probably about maybe 66 to 62.
66. That's a good score.
That's pretty. That's a decent 6-man score. I think that's what we're going to kind of see there. I think Westbrook's also going to win in that other side. I think they're going to win more handedly. I think they're going to be probably that 40-70 kind of look.
I know, but Abbott plays a good defense though. They haven't given up that many points. They've given up a lot of points in the postseason. I mean, half their point they've allowed 44 points in the postseason so far, and I think they allowed like 80 points all year. So they're playing good defense there, and Irion County is the same way. They're playing good offense and good defense. So I think they've played a better level of competition. I think they've played, probably a better. Once you get in West Texas,
these West Texas teams are good. 6-man teams, they go hard.
And you take out the May game, you take out the Borden County game. I think at the beginning of the season where they gave up 60, 91. There's 151 points right there, and I think they've only had like 268 points given up. So you take those two games out, you're getting down, pretty low. So.
Yeah,
I think the good defensive game coming up. I think it's going to be a good one.
All right. Well, you'll have to just check into Cover 1 on 8 and 10 o'clock for all the highlights and score updates as they come in. Guys, I want to tell you, it is Christmas time, and you got to do your holiday shopping at the Autoplex. We're going to deck the garage, whether it's your Jeep, Ram, Chrysler, the new Dodge Challenger, whatever you want. They got it there at 4310 Sherwood Way at the Autoplex. They're having their big finish sale for 2022, so go check it out. Give them a call, 325-284-3032. Only at the Autoplex deal. Nobody beats an Autoplex deal. I'm telling you guys, nobody. All right.
Nobody.
Moving on, James, to the last game that we're going to be talking about, and it is going to be one of the best games in the state of Texas. It is two, I don't even know, two Titans going against each other. We're talking about Cisco versus Holly, James. You're going to this one yourself.
I am going to be there.
So, what are you thinking? This is just a crazy game, right?
Yeah, earlier in the year, they're in the same district. This is one of those like insane districts. Because even outside these two teams, you got Stanford and Olney as well. And those two teams are very good. This is probably one of the toughest districts in 2A1 football. Earlier in the year, they played each other, and the Lobos were up like 33-30 at one point. And I actually have it here. Let me pull this up real quick. We got the fourth quarter. Holly completed a fourth quarter under a minute. Oh, it jumped on me. Hang on.
Stay tuned for some technical difficulties.
Fourth quarter, under a minute, a touchdown pass. Holly threw a touchdown pass. I don't know. I'm sure Hooper threw it to somebody. It doesn't say here, but on Max Preps. But yeah, that put them up. They were down 3 points. It was 33-30 before then. Threw a touchdown, 33-36 with less than a minute left. Holly won. I expect the same thing tonight. I expect Cisco to be hungry because they, even though Holly remembers that Doug Brooks who ran it last year on them in state, who made them, I know that these
one
are,
of those Brooks brothers.
I know that these are still children. Whoops. I know these are still children playing, but Doug Brooks certainly made them look like children. But running like beast mode out there.
That dude's a grown man.
He was a grown man. Yeah, little bowling ball just knocking pins down. So. But this game was played last year. They played the same game, I think, in the same round.
They both had it circled on the calendar for this week. Everyone knew that this kind of thing was coming. We saw a little few playoff games from both of them, but we all kind of knew that this is where these are going to meet up, and whoever meets up here definitely has a really good shot at not only winning the state championship, but they're going to be there.
Yeah, no, these two teams are tremendous teams, tremendous programs. Both coaches do a good job. They've played each other last year, and if Will Scott didn't get out and make a tackle on like fourth down or whatever, it very easily could have been Cisco getting run on by Shiner in the state championship.
Yep.
So yeah, this is going to be a great one. You know, so you're looking at two plays that are tremendous plays that put Hawley over. You know, last year with Will Scott, and then this year with a touchdown over Cisco earlier in the season. So this is going to be a tremendous game. I'm excited. I really am excited for this one because this could be one of the two teams representing in state. Next week, though, is going to be Toller or Crawford, which would be another great one regardless of who wins this one. So,
all right, James. Well, go ahead. Give me your score. Give me your pick. What do you think?
You know what? I'm going to say Cisco 24, Hawley 20. Hawley 20. Cisco 24. Yep, 24-20.
I think that's going to be pretty close. Yeah. Why are you thinking that's going to be the score?
I think Cisco has that fire about him now. I think you might maybe catch Hawley a little overconfident. I think in the first quarter last week when they played Sonora, it was 8-0 in the first quarter. I'm pretty sure that was the score. I'm not going to go back and look at it, but you know, and I think if Cisco can keep it contained like that and not let them get out like they did in the first game and keep it close, I think they're going to finish this time. I think Cisco's going to win. Don't get me wrong though. Either one of these teams winning would be. It's going to be a great game regardless, and you got nothing but respect for both of these programs and teams.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that this game kind of reminds me of a game that we saw in the first round of the playoffs, James, and that was Sterling City versus Miles in Wall, Texas. Okay,
all right.
You're looking at these two teams. They're very similar, and you got to throw in that kind of a little nod because they're district foes. I mean, they're gonna play each other. They've been playing each other. They know what's up with them. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a final score of 28-27. Hawley's gonna win again. It's gonna be too much for Cisco, and they're gonna lose off of a missed extra point.
Yeah, looking back right now, in the first half of the Cisco Hawley game, I bit my tongue. Sorry. It was 19-8. Cisco was winning at halftime. What
was the final score to their game this year?
36-33 Hawley.
So we think
Hawley
kind of shot that a little low.
Hawley scored 28 points in the second half to win it, and it took a last-second touchdown to get there. So I think Cisco's gonna finish it. Although I wouldn't care if Hawley won either. I'm just looking forward to a really good football game.
All right, and that's what we will have. We'll have a very good football game here tonight on Cover 1. Don't forget to see all the highlights, the analysis. We'll have scores of all the games tonight, so make sure you tune in. That'll be at 8 and 10 o'clock. James, before we go, final thoughts.
Final thoughts? Yeah, this is going to be a really good one. Hawley, Cisco, those are two top programs in the state at 2A ball, so this is going to be a really good game. Irion County, Abbott, those are two top programs for six-man. Koffel's been there 4 years now, and he's really got that program on the up and up. So I'm really excited to watch them go out and play. I'm excited for the Wall. I'm excited for Coach Guy and his group out there. Craig Slaughter does a really good job with that defense. So I'm excited about that defense. And later on in the year, people, you're gonna have to tune in because we're gonna have the All Cover 1 team. So we're gonna go around the Concho Valley, bring some of these schools in, and we're gonna put together a couple of our favorite players who played really great this year from 6-man to 6A. So
that's right.
You'll have to watch the show and
find out who wins.
Exactly. Find out who's the best and who's the second best.
Hey, that's right. Well, guys, this has been the Cover 1 pregame show. Don't forget to come back and visit us at 8 and 10 o'clock. We'll have all the scores, highlights, and analysis from all the games from not only Concho Valley teams, but those other two games that we mentioned as well. I'm Matt Trammell. You've heard from James Bellini and Ryan Chadwick. Also, before we leave, I want to thank our sponsors, Angelo Bolt, All-American Chevrolet, The Autoplex, Edward Jones, Team and Investments, and, of course, Double Dave's Pizza. For everybody here, we will see you guys at 8 o'clock.